Alright, as I record this, it's like not even 10 in the morning. Because I neglected to record these for y'all for the weekend, because I was gonna record one Saturday night, and then I realized, there's a Steam sale going on, and then I bought like just about everything Clay's made, because it was on sale, and I've played so much, Driftlands, DST, starting up some Oxygen Not Included. Maybe some of those you'll see on the channel when all this is over. Maybe. Don't bet on it though. I think posting is closed now. It's the 6th of October as I record this. Posting is closed. I have very few days to get through, however many I can get through, because there's no way I'm going to read them all for you guys. But I feel like you guys expected that. So, I don't remember reading a heart, so last one we did was a Never War, the Never War rather. I remember because every time I see a space foundations or a story where the foundation is set in the future and has like elements of space travel, my first thought was always, is this an Ad Astra per Aspera story? Because I seldom read Ad Astra per Aspera stories, not because I don't like Ad Astra per Aspera, but because I just seem to never click on the ones that are those. And I only really know about Ad Astra per Aspera from like Exploring series, who by the way, during October usually releases like videos based around horror movies and stuff. So go check out the Exploring series because I love the guy. He makes great content, especially like some non-SCP content. Like today he just released a video on a horror movie I've never heard of. I'll have to watch that later, but give him some love because he deserves it for being probably one of the best. I feel bad like pigeonholing him into it, but he's like one of the best SCP content creators, and I do like his other content. Like he did HP Lovecraft readings before. He had some scant D&D stuff that I watched. He had, and like I mentioned already, occasionally does stuff for like horror movies and stuff. So go give him a view. I wonder if he'll do a video on 9K when the contest is over. Because I haven't really noticed anyone doing, or at least I haven't seen any recommended to me, which you'd think I would considering I'm also doing them. I haven't really seen any uh, people making videos on the contest as it's ongoing. Is this an uncommon thing to do? Anyway, we will start off. Remember, in the description you can read along with me as I'll put the links to whatever file, parentheses, S, we're going to read today. I'd like for you to read along with me as I feel like that gives the best experience of the article itself. You don't have to, but the option's always there. But if you do have an account, please do vote and vote properly. Oh, it's a short one. Okay, I don't mind. Okay, so we're definitely going to do more than one today. SCP-9000, A Heart by Letnova. Letova. Item number, SCP-9000, object class disputed. So this is old styled because there's no anomaly classification system. Okay, I don't mind. Footnote 1. Both the Archon and Thaumiel classifications have been proposed and are currently under consideration. I forget what Archon is, and Thaumiel is, of course, beneficial to the Foundation. Special containment procedures. A metal fence has been installed in a 5-meter radius from the hatch leading to SCP-9000. A titanium padlock has been installed as a replacement for the previous one. Its keys are currently in the possession of the assigned department. The sealed door is not to be, in italics, is not to be opened under any circumstances. SCP-9000-2 may be injured or terminated in the case of sudden global increase in reports of bipedal cryptids. What? Okay. Finding, what is this one? Oh, it's called a heart, okay. Finding ways to slow or non-permanently pause the development of SCP-9000-3 has been deemed imperative for the continued ability of the SCP Foundation to uphold the Normalcy Protocol. Introduction of disease into SCP-9000-3 for this purpose is currently under consideration. You've intrigued me already. Description: SCP-9000 refers to an underground structure located on the outskirts of Minsk, Belarus. The structure first came to the attention of the SCP Foundation following a review of all cataloged Foundation properties on 24th of March 2020. See, they do day, month, year. Nice. Well, I prefer month, day, year because I'm American, but like, it makes more sense for like a science-focused thing to do month, day, year, as that's how the rest of the world does it. Same reason metric should be there and all that. We're good about metric, we're just still not very good on like year structure, which I don't want to say it bothers me, but like it bothers me. Uh, like a little bit. If you get what I'm saying, right? It just makes it easier on me if I know all that stuff. Uh, anyway, what was I? Sorry, just checking my Steam library to see if there's anything I wanted to download while I'm doing these. Foundation prop structure came to the attention of SP Foundation following a review of all catalog Foundation properties on the 24th of March 2020. SCP-9000 was designated as Site 0, with the date of acquisition listed as the 30th of October 1961, the records of its original owner having been redacted. SCP-9000 can only be entered through a 5-meter long metal tunnel descending from a hatch similar in appearance to that of a bomb shelter entrance. The main body of SCP-9000 is a concrete tunnel, 100 meters in length, containing 15 reinforced metal doors on either side. In addition, a single wooden door is present on the northern end of SCP-9000. Above each door is a brass plaque, 27 of them having had their text scratched out and replaced with the word condemned sometime prior. In addition, all but 2 of the doors have been welded shut from the outside, rendering the rooms inaccessible. A singular door has had its plaque removed. The gateway and its contents are not to be acknowledged, designated, or interacted with by any personnel, including those of the assigned department. The entrance has since been welded shut. Personnel staying near the passage have reported smells of rotting meat and hearing a singular, constant tone emanating from inside the room. SCP-9000-2 refers to a pulsing mass of brown hair and biological material present in a room behind one of the 2 unsealed doors, with a plaque reading Nocturnal Offspring above its entrance. The room contains a medical bed, a heart rate monitor, and an empty bedside table. The mass has been seen to twitch occasionally before shrinking in size. At its current rate, the mass is presumed to cease existing before the year 2100. SCP-9003 refers to a mass of human tissue resembling that of an adult male torso. Though containing no organs outside of the skin and blood vessels, organs outside of the skin and blood vessels. The plaque above the room containing it read, "The Masterpiece." The room contains the same furnishing as the one housing 9002 and 9003. Oh, same furnishing as the one housing 9002, which was a medical bed, heart rate monitor, and a bedside table that is empty. Anyway, SCP-9003 has been observed to increase in mass by approximately 0.8% per year. Weird, I like that. Wooden door present in 9000 leads to a single office room with a desk containing multiple documents pertaining to 9002 and 3. In addition, a pile of ash has been found under the desk, relevance currently unknown. Former has been handed over to Department of Mythology and Folkloristics. Although most documents regarding SCP-9003 are highly redacted, a single page containing relevant information has been found. All dates are censored except for the last one. We'll get into that as we will. Patient status serious. Symptoms red and black rash, blisters. Second note, patient status serious. Symptoms swollen lymph nodes, partial skin necrosis. Next note, patient status moderate. Symptoms are fever and localized skin necrosis. Next note is patient status mild. Symptoms are fever and hemorrhage. And the last note is patient status is undecided. Symptoms are fever and unknown. The day and month are censored, but 2019 is still visible. The implications of these documents are currently under investigation by a assigned department, which is the Department of Abnormalities. Well, I did like this file, right? I don't know how much it pertains to this. Obviously, like, I got the implication. That's an old site, right? All of the information surrounding it has been removed and all that. There's no, they burned some of the other documents. Like, that was really, at least that's how I interpret it, is like really obvious. Like, oh yeah, that's what the ash is. The other documents have been burned because there's only these 2 documents. And the 2 doors welded shut, landing them inaccessible. You could just take a saw to that. It's a good file, it's not a good 9000 file. I'm not saying like 9000 files have to be these like monumentally long, several hyperlinked things, but I don't think it's exactly a good 9000 document. I did, however, like it, but since it's not the contest, what are they called? Themes. I'm not gonna leave it an upvote until after the contest. This one is Shyness by Spider Jaws. 3,000 years. Shyness by Spider Jaws. If you see their face, they'll try to kill you. If you survive, there's far worse consequences. Right. So, I was not to sound really annoying. Oh, this one's also short. We might be able to do three. Wait. Oh, 9.6. I figured. I was about to say not to sound like an offsite fan because I got to keep up the elitism around here now, don't I? But not to sound like an offsite fan, this one is really reminding me of 096. It's not a bad thing to be reminded of the popular files, right? They're popular for a reason, mostly because people don't read the files anymore. A lot of offsite fans is like my implication, but like this one kind of legitimately just feels like uh 096 based on I don't know, just vibes, I guess, but I feel like a dick saying that, so we'll get into it. Hold on. Sorry, I heard noise in my house. That's my, family being awake, given that it's still not even 10. Item number, SCP-9000, Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Instances of 9000-1 are to be contained in separate airtight containment cells with one-way windows should they wish to look outside. Daily checks are to be made for structural integrity of these cells. No video monitoring of any kind is to be made inside of these cells. SCP-9000-1 instances may roam low-risk security areas of the facility and interact with others, so long as they wear a specially designated mask that cannot be removed without a key. Any SCP-9000-1 instances that attempt to remove this mask or expose their face to others are reprimanded and returned to their cells indefinitely. Should an SCP-9000-2 instance be created, its corresponding SCP-9000-1 instance must be allowed to find it and given a clear path of civilian monitoring, handled by MTF Zulu 8, see something, say something. SCP-9000-1 instances are not to be terminated without prior authorization. Foundation web crawlers are to monitor social media websites for images of 9000-1 instances with particular focus on their friends, relatives, and associates. Any photos, videos, or recordings of 9000-1 instances are destroyed unless authorized by project lead Dr. Al-Zahar. Already, I'm not incredibly fond of this one. It just feels like an 096 retread that we didn't need. But I'm still gonna give it a shot. But I'm not holding out hope. No offense, Spider Jaws. Description. SCP-9000 refers to a viral cognitohazardous phenomenon that causes a person, designated 9000-1, to enter a violent state when their full face is viewed by another human, designated 9000-2, whether directly via video recording, photography, or on social media platforms. Yeah, this is just... SCP-9000-1 instances will display signs of emotional distress, including crying, screaming, and incoherence. I really don't want to read this one anymore, honestly. If I wasn't recording this, full transparency, I would have uh, already closed the tab. I already don't like it. As they pursue, and incoherent speech as they pursue 9002. Subjects only move in a straight line towards their target regardless of potential physical damage, death, or further exposure. In this state, 9001 instances display heightened speed and strength, running up to 100 kilometers an hour, lifting up to 200 kilograms. Ugh. Your foe's making me nauseous. Once 9001 makes contact with 9002, it will attempt to kill and consume. Okay, already. Sure, it was the fandom implication, but it was never directly stated. You could have interpreted it as anything else, like fucking skin absorption or absorbing through the skin. I feel like an asshole for being like pedantic about this, but straight up, outright, I'm saying it to your face, audience, and no offense, Spider Jaws. I don't like this file fucking at all. Attempt to kill and consume 9002 until no trace of the victim is left behind. Once these activities are complete, 9001 subjects return to the normal state of mind, full awareness of their actions despite an inability to rationalize them. Should an instance of 9001 expire before it kills and consumes all instances of 9002, all instances of 9002 become instances of 9001. Okay, I think I get what the file is going to do. I'm going to predict 096 will be a construct, like artificially constructed homunculus creature that is intentionally given this cognito hazard so that it basically makes this neutralized outside of making 096 or whatever. I if that's how it goes or whatever, or if even they just find 096 and do what I just said, it's a cool premise. I still don't fucking like the file, but we'll see. We'll see. I feel like such a prick. Addendum: audio log from interview 9000-1-2. Interviewer Al-Zahar interviewed 9001-2 Marie Blonsky on October 9th, 2024. Maybe the 10th of September, because again, I don't know if this is month a year, day month a year. Are there any other dates? Uh, Outside of 2017, no, not really. Uh, on 10/9/2024, a 911 call was placed by Marie Blonsky. Two officers arrived on the scene and radioed for backup before Mrs. Blonsky, by this point an instance of 9000-1, killed and consumed them. So are they? I feel like such a fucking asshole. Is there like stomach cavity or like metabolism or what? Like also anomalously affected? Because killing and eating three whole guys at the very least is fucking. That's like that would kill you to eat like three entire. Killed and consumed them. Foundation agents intercepted and subdued Mrs. Blonsky. She was placed in a temporary holding cell and given a ski mask to wear before her interview. Begin log. Dr. Alzahar. And we're recording. State your name for the record, ma'am. SCP-9000-1-2. Marie Blonsky. Dr. Alzahar. Tell me what happened that night. SCP-9K12. Should I have a lawyer? Dr. Alzahar. You're not in any trouble, ma'am. Just tell me what happened. SCP-9000-1-2. We were getting ready for dinner. Tommy was up in his room. Bill was cooking burgers. He wanted a grill, but I didn't like the look of the weather. Sorry, I called Tommy down, but I guess he was on his computer or whatever, and then Bill just started screaming. Dr. Alzahar, fucking A. Dr. Alzahar, did he seem strange to you at all before then? So I say fucking because I read ahead. Here it is. SCP-9000-1-2. He seemed normal. He was just looking at his mountaineering pictures all day. It's just a fucking 096 retread, dude. I don't. I'm gonna puke. Dr. Alzahar. Okay, please continue. 9K12. I tried to get him to talk, but I didn't understand him. I thought he burned his hand or something. I got him an ice pack from the garage, but when I came back out, he was looking at me like an animal. And he came at me, put his hands around my neck. I grabbed a lamp and I hit him. And I tried to barricade myself in the garage, but he tore through the door like it was paper. Lucky we kept a hunting rifle in there. 9K12 pauses here, starts to cry. She moves for her mask. Dr. Alzahar, ma'am, please keep the mask on. 9K12. I'm sorry, it's just getting wet. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. Ugh. I haven't even fucking eaten it yet. Why am I nauseous? Dr. Alzahar. I know. Continue your story. 9K12. I did what you're supposed to do. Told Tommy to stay in his room. Called the police. Just stay in the garage with Bill until they came to the door. When I opened it, God. Dr. Alzahar, please describe it to me, best as you can. 9K12. I felt like my face is being ripped off my skull. I tried to keep it in place. It hurt so bad. I never felt anything like it. I screamed for help, and the two officers came towards me, and I knew they were responsible. I know they weren't, but I was so certain. I grabbed the nearest one, just kept hitting him off the door frame until his head caved in. The other one tried to run, but Jesus Christ, I was on him so fast, and they tasted awful. Dr. Al-Zahar, would you say you lost control? 9K12. No, I knew everything I was doing. When it was over, I knew what I'd done, and I was horrified, and then I knew Tommy had looked at a picture of a family fishing trip. 9K12 quiet, removes her mask and vomits. Dr. Al-Zahar avoids seeing her face. 9K12, I'm sorry, Dr. Al-Zahar terminates the interview. Again, I just don't feel like this file's very good. But I feel so bad for saying that. But like, oh my god, I know you're sick of hearing it. Can someone in the comments, like, let me know your opinions on this file. Am I justified for not liking this? I feel justified for not liking this. Foundation web crawlers quickly moved to terminate images of Mrs. Blonsky from the internet, while MTF Zulu 8 destroyed images in the home of friend and family. Further, 6 people would have become instances of SCP-9000, though Zulu 8 was able to terminate them before Mrs. Blonsky could do so. In the 4 minutes Mrs. Blonsky was an SCP-9001 instance, 3 people viewed as... Oh, Mr. Blonsky was an SCP-9001 instance. 3 people viewed his Facebook profile and became further 9K1 instances. These instances were later contained after the deaths of 14 individuals. Foundation agents are working to contain the situation. Addendum Incident 9K-1-A. Containment efforts failed on the evening of 20th of October 2024. I feel like such a no, do I? My immediate thought was to like pull up another tab of SCP 096 and be like, are there any dates in here that like make this wrong? I uh, I fucking I know why I feel bad for not liking this because like the other ones I've read with like all the content warnings and stuff, they have like content, right? Like depict actions that are worse, but that's the point of the file, right? They're never glorified. I'm not like taking a Puritan angle on here. I know it's all fiction. I just don't like this one because it just feels like 096 again, and I like 096 like well enough, but I don't like him this much. Efforts failed on the evening of 20th of October 2024. Wall 9001-17, formerly Mr. Carl McLaughlin, laugh is fun, used his showering privileges, he began screeching and wailing. Later discoveries would determine this to be a result of a cousin, 9K117, Lucy McLaughlin, had discovered a picture from 2017 of a family gathering that included Hal McLaughlin in her photos, making her an instance of 9K2. On-site security attempted to contain this instance to its cell. While security was successful in preventing on-site exposure, they were unable to delay 9K117 from breaching the site. Zulu 8 enacted emergency procedures attempted to clear the instance's path. During this time, Miss McLaughlin shared the photo on her Instagram profile. Foundation web crawlers were automatically alerted to the post, but because 9K117 was deep in the background, they were unable to detect him. It was only after Dr. Al-Zahar viewed the image he became aware of 9K117's presence in the picture. 3 minutes before the photo was taken down, 3 people, including Dr. Al-Zahar, became instances of 9K2. 9K17 made an unexpected deviation from its path towards the civilian highway, likely seeking closer instances of 9K2. Zulu 8 quickly moved to clear traffic, but were unable to prevent McLaughlin from being struck and killed by an unsecured civilian vehicle. By this time, 131, formerly Dr. Al-Zahar, moved into self-quarantine. Does killing yourself not make, like, if you, like, this is like, if you shove your head in a wood chipper, right, or some other, like, calmer way to go out but still destroys your face, would that not be protocol for... I am so sorry. Moved into self-quarantine. A contingent of MTF Zulu 8 was dispatched to the home of 9K132, formerly Mrs. McLaughlin. 2 other instances of 9K1 were determined to be her sister, Arlene Thompson, and her husband, Neil Thompson, who were at this time in Miami, Florida, as VIP attendees to a concert performance by American singer-songwriter and pop star Taylor Swift. Why is that funny to me? According to witness testimony, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, respectively 33 and 34, engaged in violent altercation backstage, resulting in the death of Mrs. Thompson and severe maiming of Mr. Thompson. Witness testimony would later indicate Miss Swift had interacted with them just before their altercation. As such, upon their deaths, figures. Taylor Swift to be designated 9K35 before walking on stage to 183,000 attendees. Upon exposure, she covered her face, screamed for 37 seconds before lunging into her audience, killing and consuming 107. Again, that's lethal to the guy doing it. 100, like, was there a mention of that earlier? Oh, finally. Attendees over the course of 7 minutes. By this time, Swift had become engorged to the point that her stomach had burst, although she continued her pursuit of concert goers. So if they kill and eat someone to the point nothing remains, even one is lethal. Eating a whole dude, right? Like top. I feel like that's fucking kills you. I feel like that's kills you, no? Because I'm thinking bones and everything too, and wouldn't that cause? Because they say leaving no trace. Did they say no trace is explicitly left behind? This matters to me actually. Um, consume until no trace of the victim is left behind. Yeah, see? That would include bones, which means they would splinter and stab you internally. So I feel like such an asshole. By this time, engorged to the point it had burst, although she considered her pursuit of concert goers. Local police on the scene intervened, initially attempting to detain Swift because of her volatility. Initially attempted to detain Swift. Because of her volatility, several officers were killed before they opened fire, killing Swift and causing almost all 183,000 concert attendees become instances of 9K1. Instances then turn on each other, causing the deaths of over 100,000 people before Foundation agents arrived to subdue the situation. Several instances of 9K1 escaped stadium. Acting project lead Dr. Tina Zhou, Dr. Al-Zahir shot himself in quarantine. It's viral content. Okay, so that would be fine, actually. Yeah. They can look at your face after you die, that's fine. It's not looking at the face makes you become an instance. It's looking at their face, then they die, and you're still alive. Okay. Yeah, yeah. See, he made the right choice. I feel like a, but whatever. Uh, Vetoed the termination of these subjects to avoid creation of further 9K1 instances. Instead, had agents focus on clearing civilian pathways so they could reach their 9K2. Further, 763 were killed and consumed by escaped 9K1s. Because of her public status, her attack was broadcast live, creating an unknown number of 9K. I presume 2000 SCP-2000 will be used. These would also become. Wait. Her broadcast was live, causing an unknown number of 9K2 to be created in the hundreds of millions. Upon her termination, they would also become 9K1s, causing a massive chain reaction that led to the creation of 4 billion 9K1 instances and an unknown number of 9K2 instances. Emergency meeting with O5 was held alongside acting project lead Dr. Zhou, who proposed mass amnesticization using Class C amnestic. It was approved, and Foundation jets gassed high population areas. Agents following to administer proper amnestics and to potential 9K2s. Proved successful in placating 1,000, placating the 9K1 instances, keeping death toll to roughly a billion. So amnestics work? Why are they just left to be fine? So if amnestics work, why do you have such a large amount of free roaming fucking just in the site? Keep a, even for the Foundation, that feels like a stupid move. Following this containment breach and out of concern for public safety, O5 Council initiated lifted veil protocol, informing the public of the phenomenon, instructing them to hide their faces. Enforcement of these protocols is ongoing. They made the table special for it. Had to. It didn't have anything big enough for it otherwise. Strapped it down with a dozen belts and metal clasps screwed in tight. Could have easily broken through, but it didn't. For nearly 2 decades, this confused Dr. Dan. Why couldn't it remain quiet like this all the time? Or why not act now when it was clearly in danger? None of these questions mattered. Too many sacrifices had brought him here to keep him asking questions. With the bag over his head, Doctor found it difficult to slip the syringe beneath his eye. Believed it would be docile while he struggled to find it. He was right. He always was, and in time the syringe found its mark, and he pressed the plunger in. Enough to kill an elephant. For 15 agonizing minutes, he watched its chest rise and fall with no issue. He'd never tell anyone, and no one would care, but for the briefest moment he felt a pang of worry that it would know and take its revenge. But the heart monitor sounded the alarm. Rise and fall of its chest slowed as its functions failed. Every 2 minutes it rose and fell again. Every 5, every 10. After an hour, the monitor flatlined completely. Doctor breathed his own sigh of relief. Waited another hour before approaching it again. Instructed everyone watching it to look away. He'd be the only guinea pig now. They obliged him. He pulled the bag off its head, stared. His eyes didn't move. Oh, so that's what it looked like. Naturally linked to 9K. Okay, so my prediction was wrong because the implication is killing it caused this viral contagion. Huge, wonderful, amazing question. So if this is basically just 096 again in worse form, arguably, why don't they just take one D class, completely scrub him off the record because, death row inmate, not like people are going to want to remember him anyway. And when they're about to die, they let them live out their natural life. When they're about to die, make another 9K1 instance, so we always perpetually have just the one guy. instead of the one guy, the one unperson, right? In 1984. Point is, and I feel like such a fucking prick. I straight up did not fucking like this at all. I'm logged in. What? Oh fuck. I'm not logged in. Damn it. How did I not notice that? I'm gonna pause after login. Alright, I'm signed in. And I feel so bad for doing this. I should have didn't fucking like that. Like at all. I have, and I really am sorry, Spider Jaws. I didn't like that one. So sorry. Oh man, I feel like such a fucking dick doing that. I mean this full seriously. In the comments, please, love of God, tell me wait, and don't hate Brigade just because I didn't like it. I have trust you guys operate yourselves in like proper manner, and I don't think my opinion matters an incredible amount to you in the first place, or rather, I hope so, because I'm just some fucking random guy on the internet reading files for fun. But please, in the comments, give me your opinions on this file. Straight up, I don't care for it. Like fucking at all. We need to 9K. We need to talk about We need to talk about parallel universes by MapleStrip. Maple 4. If humanity had been building millions of little worlds, is it not inevitable? I figure you'll be a long one. There a link at the bottom here. Wow, we might do the coveted 4 files in a video. Is this what um the exploring series feels like? Is this a fucking RC car? No, it's not an RC, it's just a regular toy car, I think. Item number SCP-9000. Containment class pending. Containment procedures. Containment of SCP-9000 has failed and is to be incorporated into normalcy. Social media is to be monitored for any activity of prominent members of GOY 9000. A task force of former video game hobbyists has been informed to investigate potential similar anomalies. Description. Oh, it's a video game. SCP-9000. Okay, you've got me already. SCP-9000 is the 2008 video game Street King Racing, developed by the Swedish video game developer Aw Arcade for Windows computers. SCP-9000 is a street racing game with 8 levels. Players compete against 7 AI-controlled opponents to complete 3 laps the fastest. Races do not end until the player vehicles crosses the finish line. 9K's anomalous properties are currently poorly understood, but the virtual world of the video game appears to connect to an indefinite number of parallel universes that can be accessed by means of various glitches or exploits. Already like it. So I can never remember its file. I have to find. I don't know why it's making. Oh, I know why. I'll explain when I pull it up. Discovering SCP Kill Hell 2. Now it's Hell. This is. I can never remember its number. This is the only way I remember how to find it. Is because this guy. Who made you? Are you? I think the one made by. Uh. Why is the fucking skip wiki not secure on my damn phone? You. Hold on. I'm gonna pause actually. Give me a sec. Fucking links didn't want to work on my phone, so I had to like rifle through the video. SCP-1633 should still be there. Yep, SCP-1633. I I only remember this through discovering SCP and old SCP podcasts. Used to watch all the time. I don't think I ever finished it. I'll have to see where I have to catch up. Because I thought the title of the video was fucking hilarious. Kill Hell 2, Now It's Hell. Thankfully, it's one of the funniest titles I ever saw, which is good because it's one of my favorite SCPs I've ever seen. I just can't remember its fucking number for some reason ever. Uh, this one is also an anomalous video game. It's really interesting because like it reacts. This one, read it yourself, right? It's basically like the anomaly like learns and reacts to your shit to the point where like to how you play to the point where they will pretend like it can get so advanced where the not the anomaly, the enemies in the game will pretend to not work anymore. Like they'll bump into walls, they'll like repeat animations over and over again, and then like swarm up on you and like gank you, or they'll abuse the glitches and exploits that you abused, like fucking barrel clipping into you at high speed and killing you or some shit like that. It's really cool, but the actual anomaly is like down here, like the actual anomalous parts. Because beyond that, it can be also to the point where like they will try to give you epilepsy and kill you in real life. It's just like please just read it. It's really fucking cool. 163. Recommend it highly. Anyway, back to 9K. Uh, infinite number of parallel universes that can be accessed by means of various glitches or exploits. That's what reminded me, by the way, because they like the AI will pretend to like glitch out or they will exploit. It was so cool. Sorry, I'll stop gushing about another SCP and read this one. SCP-9000-A are entities that inhabit the parallel universes within SCP-9000. If a player's vehicle reaches a parallel universe, its SCP-9000-A entities will begin circling around the vehicle and closing in on it. 9Ka entities appearing in the game view will rapidly corrupt the game's memory usage and crash it. After 4-6 seconds, players viewing 9Ka develop nosebleeds and headaches, but these anomalous effects are not propagated to recordings. First documented anomaly on October 12, 2011, an Australian college student, Kobe Hiccups McBurpy Campbell, I guess this is his channel, published a 2-minute, I guess so, 2-minute video on YouTube showing recording of 9K gameplay. In this recording, following events took place. God, they use his fucking gamer tag. Begin video transcript. Hiccups McBurpy's open-seater race car is overtaking an AI-controlled touring car to its left. Vehicles are speeding downhill through a nighttime neon-lit cityscape. Non-racing vehicles are seen further ahead on the road, and Hiccups McBurpy steers left after overtaking the past him as well. However, as McBurpy's car runs a red traffic light, a limousine crosses into his path from the right, and the player's vehicle crashes into it. Fuck! The vehicle flips to his left upside down. The car slides forward a few meters and hits a public bench before the game's self-righting mechanism activates. However, because the front wheels of the car are stuck underneath the bench, the car fails to rotate back. Wait. Am I stuck? Hiccups McBurpy's wheels can be seen spinning rapidly, his front wheels smoking as they make contact with the bench. The car fails to move, speedometer showing 0 kilometers an hour. I'm actually just completely stuck. Oh, I can't even open the menu right now. Am I soft lock? I didn't know this is possible. Am I recording? Yes, good. I wonder if I can get out of this. 30 seconds pass without any significant events. Sound of the car's engine noticeably raises in pitch over time. Yeah, I'm stuck. I'm pretty sure I haven't moved a pixel since I... From one frame to the next, player's car is transported to an entirely black void. Car rights itself, allowing for Hiccups McBurpy to drive around again. Background music was switched to minor key and now plays at half speed. Bend around. Probably not actually bend around. I don't remember what the Song of Healing sounded like. Was it the Song of Healing? I don't know. What the fuck? Where am I? Did the whole world just disappear? At FNAF. I don't know why this makes you... You're fucking with me. Driving around the parallel universe, he bumps into walls he cannot see. Collision sounds are muffled and glitchy, elongated sparks spray around. There's stuff here, these invisible walls? I wonder if I can figure out the shape of this thing. The car continues to drive, hugging the wall on its left until the scratching stops. Hiccups McBurpy rotates the camera around the car for a little benefit, drives to the turns left to drive back into the object. I think it's a cube. There's a little divot here. Is this could this be one of the apartment buildings? Did everything just go? What's that? Two small white glowing squares move towards Hiccup McBurpy's car, which has stopped. Video begins displaying graphical artifacts such as brightly colored pixels and screen tearing, most obviously around the player's car. 9Ka's eyes remain unaffected by these effects and continue to approach. What the fuck? Loud thunk is heard. What the fuck is that? zero point 0.2 seconds of his scream is recorded before the video abruptly stops. Yep, that's pixels like tearing and stuff. Nice. Uh, the incident was analyzed by Department of Informational Technologies and dismissed as per the newly instated Herobrine protocol. Herobrine referenced in a 9K file. Never did think I'd see the day. Discovery anomaly by civilians. On January 12th, 2017, Australian programmer Kitty Berlin Kitty Austrian programmer Kitty, Berlin Kitty Morgenstern, placed a 22-minute video on YouTube describing how she and several other players collaborated to develop a consistent method to reach 9K parallel universes. Relevant context: parallel universes. In video games, parallel universe is a term used to describe areas where a copy of the level's geometry can be accessed out of bounds, typically by the play area. Is that true? A known cause for parallel universes is a niche overflow error that is a consequence of converting floating point numbers used to track players' position to integer numbers used to generate geometry. In Super Mario 64, Nintendo 1966, oh cool, it's cited and everything. This glitch was first described by Tyler Ken in 2015. The position of Mario, the game's player character, is tracked using a floating point number, which allows for a large range of values. When calculating Mario's collisions with walls, floors, and ceilings, this number is truncated to reach a much smaller integer value. However, if Mario's position on any dimension is much higher or lower than it should be, i.e. when it's positioned far away from the main level, the truncated value can equal to a valid position in the main level, and collisions are handled as though Mario is on the main level. Because Mario's position is only used for calculating collisions, there's no system for rendering the geometry structures in parallel universes. Therefore, parallel universes are completely invisible. This is the explanation Berlin Kitty provides in her 2017 video, but this is not an accurate description of how 9K operates. Berlin Kitty noted some discrepancies in her video as well. Due to the complexity and precision of exploits required to move the player character to a parallel universe, as they are positioned very far apart, task tools are required to reliably explore them. TAS is a tool-assisted speedrun or tool-assisted superplay, which are terms used to describe playthroughs of video games that have been assisted with tools. If you guys know if you'll have seen a TAS if you know the video of this guy fucking sucks at Mario Brothers. Watch how this complete moron constantly jumps around every second, almost leading our favorite plumber into a horrible death several times throughout the course of the video. If you know the video I'm talking about, the AI dubbed thing. Subscribe if you think this total embarrassment of a gamer should never be allowed to pick up a controller ever again. Like shit like that. Partial transcription of Berlin Kitty's video is included below. But this still doesn't explain everything that happens in Burpee's video. For one, how did he get to a parallel universe in the first place? Well, this is my friend from the IRC, No Mortal Mercy came in. I love these itty gamer tags. It really feels real. Oh my god, my first gamer tag fucking sucked. So did my second and third one. I like my current one though. For one, how did he get to? They managed to put in a hack that unlocks the car's speedometer so that it will show negative speed. See, typically the speedometer will never go below 0 kilometers an hour, even if you're actually going backwards. But the game still does calculate your negative speed, it just doesn't show it. But this can never happen in Street King Racing because how would the wheels be both touching the top and... sorry. Time elapsed. But this can never happen in Street King Racing because how could the wheels both be touching the top and bottom of a surface simultaneously? If you get the NASCAR stuck upside down underneath something and hit the gas, it will just slowly slide itself out. But there's one vehicle for which this just barely works, the Formula 1 car. Okay, there's actually also the Scuttlebug, but the acceleration value on that little tricycle is so low it literally takes 12 hours for it to build up enough speed. Time elapsed. While the uncapped negative speed will let you leave the level faster than I ran away from home after coming out to my parents, you still need to actually land somewhere. The thing with... Fucking A. The thing with parallel universes is that they're actually very sparsely populated. We haven't done the exact math because we don't have access to the game's source code. I was about to call it sour code. But each parallel universe is about 42,000 units removed from its neighbors. That's 12 times the size of the largest level in the game if you angle yourself perfectly with the cardinal direction. You need to reach 868,000 speed, or 868,000 speed, to jump over the nearest parallel universe in a single frame. But the burper wasn't oriented perfectly at all. We have to look closer at the specific angle Captain pointed at. Time elapsed. There's a few open questions about the parallel universes in SKR. For one thing, in our experiment, we were able to reach parallel universes beyond the expected range of floating point numbers. Floating point arithmetic is not infinite, nothing can be, but we haven't discovered the limits in the game yet. Kinda looks like developers may have used at least a 256-bit float to track the player's position, which would be ridiculous. But more importantly, we cannot identify the contents of the parallel universes wait, what's the game called? No, Street King. In RAM, I don't know. As soon as your car lands in parallel universe, RAM usage, just RAM, seems to drop slightly, and crashing into walls or other vehicles here does not seem to impact at all. We're currently theorizing the developers implemented an optimization system that's only active in parallel universes, but that's still an open question. Video was analyzed by Department of Informational Technologies and dismissed as per the newly instated TJ Henry Yoshi protocol. I don't get that reference. I don't know what this image is. Please go over here and take a look. I don't get it. Anyway, on March and April 2017, Asturian real estate agent Melanio Nacho Pina published 6 blog posts on his personal website related to 9K. In these posts, Nacho described how he used task files provided by Berlin Kitty and Associates to regularly visit 9K's parallel universes and interact with 9KA instances. Relevant sections are presented below. And now we wait. While we've been able to use save states to consistently get to this point, save states don't function for data in parallel universes. If you load a save, your location gets reset to the regular level. Everything inside the universe gets reset as well. It's as though the content of the universe isn't stored in the game at all, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Time elapsed. The most interesting part here are the bobbies. Roaming around these dark zones are creatures without bodies that just stare at you with 2 wide eyes. If you look at them for too long, they crash your game. We call them bobbies because they're cops, and they give me a headache. Time elapsed. Crashing a car into them doesn't seem to do anything. They're intangible to everything except the game's walls and floors. You can drive through them by toggling the rearview camera, or drive towards them by toggling into the rearview camera, but you just drive through them. You see them behind you, you probably get a bloody nose looking at the glitchy mess, and your game crashes. Time elapsed. The weirdest thing I discovered about the bobbies in my experimenting was that they're not simply attracted to the car. Somehow they only move when someone's actively looking at the screen. They stay still when you're not looking. Annoyingly, this means you have to stare at the screen while the task file plays out, and even blinking makes the movement desync and the manipulation fail. It's a real mind-boggler and a real pain. Time elapsed. So you can lure a bobby into a wall by moving perfectly parallel with it while it's still in its circling state. There's 3 things you have to keep track of while doing this. You must always be downhill from the bobby, as it does not switch to its approach phase until it's level with you. You have to make sure your own route doesn't direct you into a wall or a ghost rider, which I remind you are invisible here. And most importantly, 3, you have to know exactly where it is and where it's going without being able to look at it. Time elapsed. So you have to know the exact places where bobbies spawn in parallel universes for Good Springs, Neon Ion City, and New Sakura. We know the bobbies south and west of we know that the bobbies south and west of the center level always circle clockwise around the player. This allows us to set up task files that perfectly manipulate the bobbies into these levels into little nooks or crannies they cannot get out of, allowing us to freely move around 80% of these dark zones without having to worry about the bobbies popping up into view and crashing your game. What's the point of all this? Nothing, really. No Easter eggs or anything in this parallel universes. Playing around with the Ghost Riders in these places, you can quickly figure out they're just copies of non-competing cars in the regular map, so there's nothing interesting there either. I just did all this because I thought it was interesting. There's a certain mystique to the game we still don't fully understand, and probably never will. Nacho's website was not indexed by the Foundation web cause and was not discovered by the Department of Informational Technologies until recently. Blog posts are likely read by fewer than 40 people, including most 9K persons of interest. Most 9,000 persons of interest, that's 9,000. Nacho was found dead in his office from internal cranial hemorrhaging on June 2017. I guess he was here too often, that makes sense. Turing completeness. On November 13, 2017, Azerbaijani respiratory therapist Orksenji Guliev published a 10-minute video on YouTube discussing the Turing completeness of 9K's parallel universes. Relevant context. Starting in 2013, players discovered non-anomalous methods to build logic circuits within 9K's intended game space. SCP-9000 includes non-racing NPCs that drive predetermined routes across the map, vehicles following basic traffic laws, or stopping for stop signs and red traffic lights, and giving way for oncoming traffic, but serve as unpredictable hazards to racing players. Behavior, 100% predictable. When such vehicles are knocked off the road, they can fall into patterns of driving in circles. Notably, still follow traffic lights they pass near to. If their path graces a road, they may follow that road until they hit a street light, which may bump them off the road again back into a circular pattern. An intended mechanic, likely an Easter egg, in 9K is that bumping into a traffic light switches it from red to green or vice versa. Once this is done, it will no longer naturally cycle between its gates. This action can be done by both player characters and NPCs. Oh wait, that's actually really cool. I immediately get what they're gonna. March 5, 2014. Assamese substance abuse counselor Emil Boost X Fukin published a 31-minute video on YouTube showing off a basic arithmetic logic unit, a full adder, he built using these mechanics. After positioning 31 vehicles, 7 race cars, 15 sedans, 3 school buses, a limousine, and a car hauler at precise locations and trajectories across the map of Neon Ion City, Boost X was able to manipulate these vehicles by hitting specific traffic lights. He showed he could input 2 numbers below 4 in binary, and the system would output the sum of these numbers in another intersection before resetting to its previous state. That's really cool and exactly the kind of thing I could see people doing with their free time. Partial transcript of relevant sections in Orksenji's slideshow video are presented below. To keep it simple for the sake of the video, Turing completeness means that given enough time, this system can theoretically run any program that any other computer can run. All of your typical programming languages are Turing complete. Some weird systems like Microsoft Excel or Minecraft. Time elapsed. Boost X's video practically already showed that Street King Racing is Turing complete. Certainly, it's merely an adder that can only count up to 6, but it's about the principle. If we had access to more cars, more roads, more traffic lights, we could, in theory, be able to build any program we want with this logic, including SKR itself. This is where discussions of Turing completeness usually end in these types of videos, but SKR is unique. As shown in Berlin Kitty's video years ago, SKR features parallel universes that behave in a very unusual manner. These areas in the game include completely independent cars, roads, and traffic lights that do not consume any RAM storage. This shouldn't be possible and certainly isn't possible. The data used to simulate these regions of the game are probably concealed by some other system, but let's imagine SKR actually does have free storage resources. Infinite resources. One aspect of the technical definition of Turing completeness is infinite memory. The fact that no physical computer can have infinite RAM is typically glossed over when discussing Turing completeness. However, if SKR really does have regions of the game that provide data storage for no cost, it would make it the first and only true Turing machine. Time has elapsed. Video games are a world. It's a completely separate universe that amazing designers have crafted in a little pocket of reality. They may have well-realized characters and indistinguishable from people, may have their own laws of physics. Often video games even have their own internal systems of mathematics. Within a video game, you don't measure in meters or seconds, but in pixels and frames. Every game is unique and slightly different from the last. It is really impossible that Is it really possible that SKR's parallel universes are infinite? If humanity has been building billions of little worlds, it's not inevitable we would, or accidentally or on purpose, create something that we cannot. Is it not inevitable that we would, accidentally or on purpose, create something that we cannot fit within our own laws of physics? Remember when World of Warcraft removed the entirety of Gravenwall just a few days after players reported they discovered a fissure that led to a new secret area? Remember that one Pokemon ROM that made the rounds on the internet for apparently making you trip like you're on LSD? I'm just saying, if we created tens of millions of little worlds, some of them must have something inexplicable in them. Maybe even most of them. We just don't know it yet. Time elapsed. One big issue that would ruin all this fun. No known way to communicate between parallel universes and SKR. Cars continue driving on their set paths, and bobbies freeze in place when a player is not present. The only way to send info from one parallel universe to the next is by traveling between them yourself. This limits how useful this theoretically infinite space is. If it's possible to send Ghost Riders from one universe to another, Street King Racing would be the first ever truly Turing complete system. You could store and process infinite data for infinite potential. This video was not analyzed by the Department of Information Technologies. Small Discord servers. Why is the text in green? Oh, protocols. Drink water. Group of interest 9K log. How big is this log? Chunk. Why can I click on these? I'm gonna pause just in case there's someone whole fucking like data out there. Okay, clicking does nothing. Foundation logs. Foundation known logs of interaction between members of GOI 9K, the SKR technical community, that's fucking adorable, began in January 2018. A log relevant to future events is according below. Lalonde? Or is it Leonde? I don't know. Yo, I was reading some of Nacho's old blog posts. He was mentioning that the bobbies are only active when you're looking at the screen, right? So give me an idea. Hey, let's make Burpee. Those things are 100% Eldritch Abominations. They talk like people on fucking Discord. It's perfect. Lalonde. I'm just gonna say it like that because I don't know if those are I's or L's. What if I bring a camera over there, a viewport, and cover it up? Hey, go smack everybody. They give me face blindness. More water. Lalonde. Like, place an object in the way so you can't see shit. So first off, I hacked the camera and gave it momentum in the direction of the PU. What is this? What term is that? I don't know fucking. I don't know all these terms. I'm navigating blind. I'll be honest with you guys. Uh, Berlin Kitty. You can just do that. I feel like I've seen this character before. I don't know why. Lalonde. Yeah. No Mortal Mercy's hacking tool's great. You can put any object at any coordinate, tell it where to go, and give it some speed. Brilliant Kitty. Oh, damn. Lalonde. Can't place anything out of bounds or directly put into a... Oh, parallel universe, though. The coordinates aren't considered valid by the game. I think the universes must be handled by a separate piece of code. Mercy's baffled by it. La French gamer. Maybe we'll find out when the decomp project finishes. Lalonde. Maybe, if it ever does. Anyway, send a camera over the parallel universe without a car. Wouldn't you know it? Bobby's went for it. Alt F4 as soon as I saw a glimpse because they give me migraines. Here goes my burpee. I can no longer recognize my old mother. Lalonde. So yeah, hacking in a camera, You can lure them around too. Def easier than tasking a car going over there. Berlin Kitty. What happens if you have multiple camera views? Lalonde. I don't know. I don't think the hacking tool supports it right now. I'd have to ask Mercy. Maybe we can confuse them. No mortal mercy. This just means they go for the camera, not the car. I kind of guess that anyway. For one, they always looked like they were just staring directly at the camera, but also, like, they literally only move when you're actively looking at the camera, so it makes sense. Lalonde. Yeah, I figured it'd work like that too. Fun part was, they also move when a blind camera's around. No mortal mercy. I'll see if I can set up a multi-camera setup. The multi-camera setup, though. Sure. I think that can be done. That can be done. Hold on. I put an opaque sphere around the camera and moved the whole thing in the parallel universe. Waited for a few minutes, and then deleted the sphere. Parentheses. I had to put a timer on the sphere because you can't just delete stuff over there, but same deal. Little French gamer. Wait a second. Does this tool mean we can bring anything in the parallel universe too? Hold on. And the moment the sphere disappeared, there was a huge pair of white eyes on the screen. They crashed right away, so they just moved in front of the camera. Little French gamer. Yee. Hicks McBurpee. I can't tell my friends apart anymore. All people look identical. Bones, who is a mod. He adds some. I remind you this channel is for constructive discussions only. Because fucking I remind you, Hannah. Heck was McGrippy. Sorry. Lalonde. I did throw up a few dozen times after I saw those big eyes, but whatever. Oh god, I'd hate that. Berlin Kitty. That sucks, Lalonde. Yeah. French Gamer. At No More Mercy. Is there a limit to how many objects you can create and send to parallel universes? No More Mercy. Not really. The game usually has an entity limit of around 600, but if you send objects far enough out of balance, memory allocated for them straight up. I've spanned down a few thousand cars with the tool and sent them all into other parallel universes without crashing. Berlin Kitty. Lol. Left French Gamer. Oh god, I must. Oh god. I must play around with this. I'm just scanning for any. You can tell it's serious because they've never used a period until this point in time, if you don't count the ellipses. These logs are recently discovered by the Department of Informational Technologies and were originally overlooked due to small Discord service protocol. Supercomputer. Hey, La French Gamer. On January 12th, 2021, Auvergnat dancer Pierre La French Gamer Pierre published. Your name's not fucking Pierre Pierre. Published a 110-minute video. Uh, oh fuck my head. On YouTube, in which he shows this process of building an extensive system of memory storage within 9K. Excerpts below. So what shall we do now that we can hack any object to levels? How about a tiny 1 unit by 1 unit cube? Yes, this is a tiny little cube, even textured to look bigger than it actually is so we can see it all. What's the point of the cube, you ask? Well, why not put him right in the path of the oncoming school bus? Bus stops abruptly as it hits the small cube. We can create hitboxes anywhere now. Giving him a little bit of velocity, we can push vehicles around as well. The physics engine handles the rest. Time elapsed. But if we cannot hack anything directly in parallel universes, why not just move them there? I have placed a cube in the middle of Good Springs, and it will tell it to move at 500 units per second that way. Look at him go. He travels right out of bounds and will someday reach the parallel universe. If I make him go much faster and tell him to stop after exactly 2 seconds, he will stop at exactly the middle of parallel Good Springs. Time elapsed. My biggest concern with my plan was how to communicate between the universes. I could make the cubes move when they got hit by cars, but that would be very slow. Luckily, there's a way to instantly communicate between all universes. Traffic signals I mentioned at the start of the video are unlike the cars, all synchronize with each other. When a car hits a traffic signal in this corner of the intersection, all instances of that light instantly change state. We can use this to communicate instantly between parallel universes. It may as well be faster than light communication. But I must confess, I have lied to you. The lights aren't entirely instantaneous. Turns out the signals radiate in a spiral pattern after exactly each 2000 and after each 2005 parallel universes, there is a 1 frame delay before the next one changes state. This delay is so minuscule it's hardly measurable, but it helps us figure out exactly where the signal came from, which we need for what we'll do next. Time elapsed. It's hell to set all this up because we can't debug the system. If something unexpected happens in a parallel universe, we can try to travel there with a camera, lure away the Bobby with a complicated multi-camera setup, and use another hack that abuses the particle engine to give texture to the invisible hitboxes. One surface polygon at a time. But then what? We find out the cube we sent out must have been a few units off course or hit a misalignment differently than we expected. I'm fed up. It's infuriating. I'm fed up. It's infuriating. Time elapsed. But with this tool, we can convert binary data into tiny cubes that fly in the direction of parallel universes where they encode this data. It's ingenious, and I cannot thank Severus S. and Berlin Kitty enough for setting up half the logic for the system. As you see, we drag a file into the tool and it immediately begins generating the cubes. Look at them go, they're so fast. It does take a few minutes to encode the entire song this way, because as we said, we can only have a few hundred cubes in level at once. Now that the tool's done, we can delete the original file. No longer my computer. Now I double-click the file name of the tool, it generates a few cars that have the traffic signals at the level, and now we can see the traffic signals go rapidly on their own. Tool reads out the binary code. This is where the real magic begins. All Star by Smash Mouth begins playing. File plays, using data I stored in the parallel universe. Time elapsed. While this is still a prototype, I'll have to make a download link to the tool we made available in the description. Should work on Windows 11 and Linux. You can store movies and pictures in the universes yourself, but do remember closing the game makes you lose all data. Not yet very practical right now, more of a toy. But being able to store terabytes of data for free and access any data practically instantly is very, very cool. There's an image of a cube in a skybox. And a tree. Linked file was downloaded over 20,000 times before Department of Information Technology took the video down, utilizing cover story DMCA copyright strike. Re-uploads of the file became commonplace. Foundation efforts shift to minimizing mainstream exposure. Tools used in various R&D projects across the world, and because disturbance to these was considered unacceptable to Foundation higher command, containment was limited. Several research projects were launched with the Foundation to investigate the nature of 9K's anomalies from first principles, but these made slow progress. Prominent members of GOI 9K avoided Foundation apprehension, possibly through aid of other groups of interest. Decompilation. Decompilation. June 29, 2021, Austrian programmer Kitty Morgenstern published an 8-minute video on YouTube about a recent 9K decompilation project. Transcription is below. Transcript? Oh, we're speaking in German, I guess. Hi all, I know I've been AWOL for the past half year, but I thought I could only say so much about it. And though I can only say so much about it, I do have some exciting news. Project's complete. Severus S., No Mortal Mercy, John Deva Lalonde, Higgins McBurpee, and Ali have been working on this for the past 3 years, and we're now seeing the product of their labor. A complete decompilation of the source code of Street King Racing. We got some help from some people who'd rather stay anonymous, but know that I see you. This has been a huge implication for every part of the game. What is it, Gamers Against Weed or something? For one part, the modding scene is ecstatic. Friends of mine have built amazing mods with the tools available to them up to this point. But having access to the code will allow them so much freedom to build their own levels, vehicles, and game modes. Adventure genre levels are already gaining popularity, and I know that Lalonde said she wanted to make The Legend of Zelda except you're a car. Godspeed to her. Let's not keep you in suspense any longer, because I know what you're here for. We finally have access to all the code that generates the parallel universes. Except generates isn't quite the right word. Actual mechanics are too complicated for me to explain. I'm mostly just a web developer. The moment you ask me to work with pointers and the stack, I'm lost. But apparently the way the code of SKR operates, it actually creates a connection with universes that are literally parallel to our own. Its own? The game connects with identical instances of itself in other universes and just connects them. I cannot begin to understand the physics significance of this. Why the fuck is this in a small racing game from 2000s? But apparently, according to Mercy, the way the code compiles this behavior makes perfect sense. They accidentally referenced the LAN multiplayer script in the code. They accidentally referenced the LAN multiplayer script in the code handling geometry, and here we are. The software's logic is sound and reproducible. It's wild. When I first booted up SKR in 2011, I had no grasp what the game would mean to me. Whoops. Hell, back in 2011, I was not in a good place. I was having a very rough time, sleeping on a friend's couch, lost access to my meds for months, future looked exceedingly hopeless. I was convinced at some point I was not going to live to see my 20s. My friend's old-ass Dell laptop just ran basically 3 games. Space Cadet Pinball, dude, shout out. Zoo Tycoon and SKR. I didn't realize at first how good the racing game was. Looks like ass, of course, and the mechanics have always been beautiful in simplicity. Online leaderboards are really what made it special. Grinding for best times, breaking new barriers, finding skips and glitches, kept me going. It took a year to actually join the forum, but I felt part of the community just by submitting my results and watching other people's replays. The game's really important to me. Probably literally saved my life. Friends I made through it mean the world to me, even if a few of them no longer remember me. Oh shit, Amnestics? Things got really hectic about a week after French released their video and people started realizing we actually broke the laws of physics with the game. There weren't any big news stories, but got tons of emails and messages. Luckily, we got help from another online community. Definitely Gamers Against Weed. Or hell, maybe Parawatch. Probably not Parawatch, though. But my life was shaken up again in ways I can't really talk about on this channel. I have to abandon the home I had built for myself in the past 5 years. It was rough, but it's good to be among friends and be able to work together on projects like these. But no, we will keep exploring this game. I think there are secrets to it that we are yet to discover. Because the parallel universes are not in the source code, and we don't have full understanding of the bobbies, for example, I don't think it's going to end here. Friends having a closer look at an old mystery bug in Harvest Moon 64. Shit, is that the... No, that's something. And Hiccups is trying to get weird cartridge labeled totally soft to run. I want to keep making videos and I'm excited all there is to uncover. Anyway, link to SKR source code inscription. Let's just assume all arcades and copyright strike me to try to take it down. Information wants to be free and I'll do my best for that. 9K and 26 similar SCP objects are pending classification to explained. I like that. I really like that. Gamers Guys Wade called it. I really like that one. Question is, do we do a fourth? Thank you kindly, Maple Strip. That was good. In the House of God by Holotharian. Holtotharian. There they found a servant of ours, to whom we had granted mercy from us, and enlightened with knowledge of our own. Just gonna scroll down just to check if there's deemed a failure, not a link. Not that long, we'll do 4. Now, what is this sigil? I don't recognize it. There they found a servant of ours, to whom we had granted mercy from us, and enlightened with knowledge of our own. Just gonna quickly make the thumbnail for this video and then send it to a friend. If you didn't know, I make all my thumbnails on my fucking phone and have to send them to a friend through Discord. Oh, shit, where is it? Hold on, I'm gonna scroll down. There we are. Oh. SCP-9000 Containment Proposal 23. TMTS dash... What's this symbol? Lambda. I hate that I used the AI thing, but I don't want to fucking scroll down. I've become that which I hate. I'm gonna starve myself in penance. Also because I'm just not hungry today. Proposal. To increase Foundation's operational reach within the Middle East, a small temporary testing site is to be constructed near SCP-9000 Alpha by cooperating with the Saudi Arabian government, incrementally allowing for future containment efforts in the areas previously governed by other GOIs, as well as allowing for more detailed testing on 9000 Alpha. Status. Approved by the Department of Tactical Theology and Construction. Date of enactment. February 13th, 3035. Holy shit, this is a future file. Evidently. Um, Item number SCP. Is this. What are you called? Yeah, this is for my Muslim brothers, right? Yeah, the pilgrimage to Mecca. Yeah, this is in Mecca, no? Very stunning image. Item number SCP-9000. Clearance level 4. Containment class Esoteric. Secondary class as well. Disruption class. What is this? Disruption class Kennic. Risk class Caution. SCP-9000 Alpha, which appears to be. I don't remember what the name of it is, but like the cube in Mecca? The cube in Mecca? Yeah. Assigned site. Temporary Mecca testing site Lambda. Site director. Director Arvin Cole. Researcher head Dr. Marcus Jacobson. Assigned MTF. The 77 Spheres Within Spheres. Tactical priests. Didn't that guy. Hold on. How do I link myself to the. This guy. The guy who made this? I made another one recently. What's your name? Hold on. Neonios? Neonios. Hold on. How the fuck do I... Oh, that's why. No, hold on. I want the actual guy. Like, he hasn't. Oh, fucking. Ugh, give me a sec. Here we fucking after a little bit of fiddling. This is the guy. Ada 77 spheres within spheres. Yep, Ada 77 spheres within spheres on the left. So when you think about them, imagine this piece of art because I think it's very well made. So looking at procedures. 150 members of MTF Ada 77 spheres within spheres are to be stationed at TMNTS Lambda. SCP-9000 is classified as Azueli, something like that, indicating the anomalies known to the public, but its anomalous properties are not. All SCP-9000 related phenomena possess their own individual special contained procedures. Any Foundation employee wishing to perform research or join intimate efforts regarding SCP-9000 must fit at least 2 of the following criteria: high level of loyalty towards Foundation operations, no affiliation with any religious group, under 18 years old, interesting, high experience in the field of tactical theology, at least 5 months of training/internship with the Department of Tactical Theology, or past field MTF experience. At least 2. So technically not everyone has to be under 18, but that's like weird. Oh. When I said it was a short one, I might have lied, folks. Description: 9K is collective designation given to 5 anomalous phenomena interconnected to the religion of Islam. Islamic Brothers, I meant then. 9K Alpha. Containment procedures. 9K Alpha does not require any active containment due to its nature as a public religious structure. During testing with 9K Alpha, various cover stories will be manufactured in order to discourage its viewing or visitation. Description: 9000 Alpha is a black cuboid structure with gold accents located in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, centered within the Masjid al-Haram, known as the Kaaba. Footnote 1. Commonly known as the Great Mosque of Mecca. It is approximately 15 meters in height, with sides measuring 12 meters by 10.5 meters. SCP with sides measuring 12 meters by 10.5 meters wide. 9K Alpha serves as the holy site in the religion of Islam, functioning as a global direction of Islamic prayer, as well as the annual Hajj. Footnote 2. Pilgrimage to Mecca. Contrary to various material examinations, along with credible statements claiming 9000 Alpha claiming 9000 Alpha to be made of stone, the walls of 9000 Alpha do not appear to have been constructed of any known material on Earth. Materials prove to be immune to all physical, chemical, or atomic change through any means. 9000 Alpha possesses a semi-sentient reactive nature to stimuli that has yet to be properly tested. Currently hypothesized as being related to the apex tier pluripotent entity worshipped within Islam. Footnote 3. Henceforth designated Alpha 1. 9000 Alpha possesses the single highest amount of ambient sensory Akivas recorded throughout history. Short for sound Akivas. A unit of measurement for Akiva radiation energy produced by fluctuation in the Akiva field that governs interaction between belief and reality. 9000 Alpha's anomalous properties were first discovered during a series of terrorist attacks in Mecca constructed by GOY 0051 Sapphire, which are very like it's like militant anti-theist, like they want to like kill gods. That's my vague understanding of Sapphire. They're not brought up very often in an incredible amount of files. On the day, month, year, month, year, month, day, year. I mean, unless in the future there's another month, but it's month, day, year. On January 7th, 3035, involving aerial carpet bombing, chemical warfare, and various anomalous weaponry. Due to the Foundation web crawlers flagging 78 accounts of stochastic terrorism, as well as knowledge gained through previous raids on Sapphire bases, the attacks were mostly mitigated by joint operations between the Foundation and Saudi Arabian government. However, due to a large amount of collateral and infrastructure damage sustained throughout the event, a semi-permanent Foundation settlement was requested to be built by the Saudi Arabian government in order to deter future attacks, as well as provide assistance in construction efforts, in exchange for Foundation access to various 9000 related materials and month-long approved period for unrestricted testing. This eventually leads to the construction of the temporary Mecca site Lambda, henceforth referred to as TMTS Site Lambda. Oh, cute, that's just an acronym. 9K Beta. Although 9K beta is uncontainable by standard means, in cases of increased rate of manifestation, the reduction of active testing of 9000 alpha is recommended. Description: Beta is a group of Medina class memetic ideoforms located within Mecha. Medina class denotes an Akiva-based nature in their origins or operations. 9K beta instances appear to oversee and respond to any interaction with alpha, seemingly acting as its will. Beta was first discovered through testing with alpha. SCP-9K beta has been shown to appear as a variety of flora and fauna, as well as more esoteric appearances due to mimetic nature. Manifestation of its will. Okay. This one is Delta. 9K Delta. Current procedures. The existence of 9K Delta is to be covered up by the Department of Misinformation, my favorite department, with the pretense of non-anomalous underwater light sources. Okay, I like water. Manifestations of 9000 Delta instances are being monitored by the Panopticon Global Surveillance System. 9000 description: 9000 Delta is an anomalous subspecies of giant siphonophore, globally manifesting in all bodies of water. What are siphonophores? I want to say it's like bioluminescent, like plankton, but I might be wrong. Praia dubia. Zooids. Hey, of Delta typically resemble various Islamic scriptures. Oh. Biological purpose and function of these zooids is unknown. Instances of 9000 Delta do not possess any nectophores, bracts, gastrozoids, palpons, gonophores, or pneumatophores. Locomotion, reproduction, manifestation, or consumption methods of Delta are unknown. Delta will only seem to manifest in bodies of liquid containing a certain amount of Akiva radiation. No manifestation of Delta has currently been observed within a testing environment. Groups of Delta appear to act as a hive mind, moving in synchronistic patterns and acting with information no single instance should be aware of. Despite this, Delta does not engage in any hunting behavior that requires such collective informational structure, nor does it engage in activity besides initial manifestation movement. Though denied by the representatives, instances of Delta have been spotted near groups of interest 16 Horizon Initiative aquatic cargo carriers. I don't remember what Horizon Initiative is. The initiative has not contacted Foundation since these instances were discovered. 9000 Omega. 9000 Omega's influence on local these are procedures. Influence on local populations must be mitigated through disinformation campaigns, attributing its appearance to folklore or religious visions. Uh, Amnestic use is authorized for witnesses displaying signs of mimetic obsession or radical behavioral changes following contact. Omega's activities are to be monitored by the Temporal Anomalies Department and situationally intercepted by Eta 77, which are spheres within spheres. Description: Omega is a polymorphic humanoid entity of a determinate age, most often presented as an old individual wearing green attire, manifesting at various points in time and space. Omega has gone by various identities. However, while its physical origins and age are unknown, historical records indicate its most prevalent name as Alkinder. Omega presents amicable demeanor when conversing, and will attempt to inform those it converses with on various philosophical and moral subjects. Omega has been shown to manifest disproportionately near bodies of water. Possible relation Omega has with Delta is unknown. Omega possesses a minor mimetic effect that compels individuals within a certain proximity and knowledge of the entity to seek it out, resulting in radical and dangerous behavior. Omega does not appear aware of these properties. Details of its discovery can be found in Addendum 4. Here's an artistic depiction of Omega, origin is unknown, walking across a fish with some holy beads upon his hand. Interesting. Like using a fish to stride across the water. Eta? Is this the Eta symbol? I'm going to pause and look. It's the theta symbol. It was close. What's the Eta symbol? I always forget. Containment procedures. 9000 Theta is to be contained within a spatial temporal illusory exclusion chamber designed by the Department of Temporal Anomalies. Identical non-anomalous duplicate of Theta has been manufactured by the Department of Constructs to avert public attention. Maintenance of Theta has been mostly delegated to the Saudi Arabian government, borrowing monthly checks of Centra Akiva missions performed by Tactical Theology. Due to the possible threat of future Akiva-class Akiva overdose scenario, high-priority efforts to phase out the water produced by Theta from the global water supply are in progress and expect to be fully complete in March 3038. In Akiva overdose scenario is a scenario in which stable Centa-Akiva emissions of a planet exceed fatal doses to all life, and the water produced by Theta is footnote 9, which is henceforth designated as Theta 1. Description: Theta is a hand-dug groundwater well located in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, within the Masjid al-Haram, approximately 20 meters east of the Kaaba, with a depth of about 30.5 meters, diameter of 0.75 to 1.5 meters at its opening. Theta, while possessing slightly lower Centakiva emissions than Alpha, constantly produces 9,000 produces Theta 1 at a rate of 5 liters per hour. Despite various underground imaging and digging efforts, the source of Theta 1 is yet to be located. While structurally identical to water, all matter exposed to Theta 1 will slowly emit Akiva radiation. Rate and amount of this radiation will be proportionate to the previous amount of Centaakivas the exposed matter emitted beforehand. Although still anomalous, the Centakiva emissions of Theta 1 produced before 3033 have been either lower than current estimates or highly diluted with other minerals, presumably due to Alpha 1. Theta's discovery log has been redacted by order of the O5. Here's an image of the well from the exhibition mouthpiece of 9K Theta from the exhibition of the Two Holy Mosques Center Architecture Museum. And despite not being Islam, I think I would like to go someday and just observe everything. It all looks so pretty. Addendum 1. 9K Alpha testing logs. Date March 7th, 3033 through March 25th, 3035. Sorry, March 7th, 3035 through March 25th, 3035. Forward. Following are various tests conducted on 9000 Alpha with collaboration with the Saudi Arabian government to gauge the durability of the material used in construction, along with the noospheric domain of 9000 Alpha 1, as well as any possible fluctuation in Centaakivas. All of the subsequent tests were performed within the first half of the Islamic calendar, as well as at midnight to minimize witnesses. Test 1. Method: blunt force trauma. Instructions: do 3131, instructed to strike 9000 Alpha with various blunt weapons multiple times. Results: no visible effect recorded. Method 2. Detonation of explosives. Instruction: 3131, instructed to place and detonate 7 explosive charges around Alpha. Result: no visible effect on Alpha. First instance of Beta was recorded manifesting as an info-hazardous sound, causing 3131 to collapse. Method of testing: controlled drilling. Standard foundation issue industrial drill rammed into Alpha. Result: no visible effect recorded. Method of testing: high concentration orbital railgun, or the Hecker, or Key Core, something like that. Instructions: City of Mecca entirely sedated through foundation chemical treatment for direct firing of the Heck Core into Alpha. Result: all method of sedation failed immediately upon the firing of He Core, resulting in the loss of 1, 2, 3, 4 worth of amnestics and money regarding disinformation efforts. 4 digits, by the way. No visible effect on Alpha recorded. Method of testing: 5993, footnote 10. Hive insects superficially resembling Apis mellifera, or the western honeybee, inhabiting the course of a human male, producing honey designated 5993-1, capable of absorbing Akiva radiation. Do I know you? No, I'm thinking of that one coffin that's full of honey. It was in SCP Unity. God, you guys remember SCP Unity? What a wreck that turned out to be. Dude took money and ran. And fucking was a dick about it too. Instructions: small group of 5993 introduced to inside of 9K Alpha. 5 liters of 5993-1 report onto 9000 Alpha. Upon the introduction of 5993 into Alpha, Beta manifested as a flock of common swifts, which proceeded to consume all instances of 5993, moving on to lick off all the honey. No physical effect on Alpha recorded. Centakiva levels of Alpha did not appear to change. Research regarding the reason is ongoing. Test 6, redacted by O5. Instructions: redacted by O5. Results: Akiva spike of redacted Centaakivas recorded. Redacted instances of Delta manifesting within the bloodstreams of all Foundation personnel in Mecca. Oh, fuck. Blank casualties recorded. Imagine how you could feel the fucking thickness in your veins as it no longer pumps. Well, it still pumps blood, but full of fucking. Ugh. That's really cool, though. Test 7. Uh, Test. Foundation. Method of testing. Foundation issue noospheric imaging software. Instructions: a noospheric outline of Alpha taken using several religious iconographies placed around its corners as reference. Results: all other religious iconography around Alpha demanifested after preliminary safety checks. Noospheric imaging unsuccessful. Complete noospheric domain of Alpha 1 is hypothesized to be beyond human comprehension space. Test 8. Method of testing. Dispersal of ambient scent Akivas. Instructions. 4 Akiva sinks placed and activated next to alpha. Results. No fluctuation in scent Akivas recorded. Test 9. Method of testing. Ritual smithing by an apex tier pluripotent entity. Instructions. In order to gauge the relations of alpha to a wider infosphere, ritual prayer to 7 different apex tier pluripotent entities conducted around alpha using following ingredients. Ugh. 7 instructions. 7 infant human subjects to be consumed by D3131. Various sharp instruments to facilitate creation of sigils around alpha. Leather bag containing rusty cogs. Oh, that's going to be mechan stuff then, no? A metal cube containing Homo sapien collarbones, and a threading needle. Result. All attempts to enact ritual ineffective. All deific sigils drawn around alpha disintegrated. All ritual instruments transmuted to sand upon contact with infant subjects. 3131 entered the interior of alpha and proceeded to self-terminate by banging its head on his walls. Fucking. Nice to note the D class having non-personified pronouns to reflect that they don't care about D class. Test 10. Method of testing relocation. Instructions. Ground beneath alpha was attempted to be lifted by standard construction tools, electromagnetic suspension systems, and thaumaturgic enhancement rites. Results. Material properties of alpha appear to extend the ground beneath, resulting in failure of all relocation efforts. Addendum. Oh wow, it's actually might be long. Maybe I shouldn't have clicked on this one, or maybe I should have saved it till tonight. Addendum 2. 3131 autopsy log personnel profile. Full name Jeffrey Arthur Matthews. Age 42. Position, temporary mecha testing site, Lambda, D-class personnel. Education, standard civilian education, 3 months tactical theology training. Previous assignment, none. Autopsy summary. Upon its self-termination during Test 09, 3131 was taken to medical bay for analysis. D3131's cadaver was found to possess various anomalous alterations due to its lethal exposure to beta, such as minor antimemetic properties, preventing imaging, and fully accurate depictions of 3131 blank instances of 9K delta found within bloodstream. 50 grams of dirt found within ribcage. 1 tasbit emerged with the myocardium, non-Euclidean body proportions, and a heavily transmuted cranium. Non-Euclidean body proportions are space between D3131's organs have been extended a kilometer more than baseline for currently unknown reasons. Weird. That was footnote 11. Open. Geometric depiction of his cranium following Test 09. It's the Fibonacci sequence. Psychological. By the way, that's how to prove sentience. Is to do math, specifically the Fibonacci sequence, because it's a clear identifiable pattern if you do basic like single sticks denoting numbers. It's pretty easy to see. It's just iterative math, which is pretty helpful for denoting intelligence. You know, just in case you're ever captured by aliens or some shit. I don't know. So just in case, there's that tool in your pocket, I guess. Psychological notes. D3131 exhibited various signs of paranoia during testing. My examinations beforehand determined a lack of relevant knowledge, experience, and loyalty towards the Foundation. Highly suggest a re-examination of workflow and testing candidates for 9000 moving forward. Additionally, according to consensus from medical staff, 3131's neural passageways appears to have been physically affected during testing, showing various signs of lethal Akiva poisoning, possibly resulting in ineffectiveness of the F-class amnestic given to 3131 beforehand, causing 3131 to self-terminate due to amnestic-induced psychosis. From Site 19, Head of Psychology, Simon Glass. Footnote 12. Who was assigned to the TMTS Lambda for testing purposes at the time. Proposal 24. Project Closed Casket. Proposal. In order to smoothly continue testing with 9K as well as curbing... This sigil's really cool looking. Curbing hostility by related groups of interest, global influence of 9000 related phenomena is to be lowered through active historical correction efforts by the Department of Temporal Anomalies, including increased funding in American and European naval resource gathering efforts, increased order of Foundation control of the theater industry, increased military support for Yugoslavian land and the Orthodox Christian Church, political reassignment of various figures, support for global surveillance technology. I think there's a space missing there, as well as increase. This is misspelled. Oh, these are increase Station operations in the digital space. These are definitely misspelled. In the digital space. Administration of 1076 instances throughout relevant communities in order to actively encourage positive socio-economical readjustment of said communities. Operation is called Project Closed Casket. That is approved by the Department of Temporal Anomalies and Overwatch Command Authority. Date of enactment, non-applicable because it's temporal anomaly stuff. Do I know you? Parasitic children! This one! I know you! Should have done the only child, yeah. I know you. They're like they're like ghost kids that make adults care for them until they drop dead. And then they just go to the next house. Addendum 3. Theta testing. Method of testing. Full body exposure. 3113 lowered into theta with a rope. Result. No visible effect on 3113 recorded for 7 minutes, which point... Oh, because they were drowning. At which point 3113 began to convulse within water. Due to rope used to lower 3113 transmitting into theta 1 upon 3113 attempted to grab it, physical autopsy could not be performed after their expiration. They just fucking drowned in there. Method of testing and introduction to various religious items. Instructions. Total of 50 artifacts of religious significance to present Foundation personnel dropped into Theta. Results. Recorded spike of blank sent Akivas as well as 12 personnel casualties. Items fully transmuted into Theta 1 after 5 minutes of exposure. Theta 1's water. Okay, it turns into water. The Akiva riddled water. Method of testing. Exposure to controlled dosage of Theta 1. 1331. We like this number. Is there a significance to that? Is it the... No, it's 998... Someone let me know. Is 31 is 31 or 13 a important number? Because it was 3131. This one's 3113. This one's 1331. This one is yeah, 1331. Controlled dosage of theta 1. D 1 1331. Instructions to drink a glass of theta 1. Results. Exhibited various effects upon exposure for a period of 5 hours, including the following: higher religious affiliation, lapses in memory resembling A-class amnestic usage, increased attentiveness, periodic increase in stable centicular emissions, minor transmutation of limbs into sodium, increased amounts of iron within bloodstream. Shit, I could use that. 15 tests omitted for brevity. Contact local liaison for further information. Closing statement by Dr. Marcus Jacobson. Although most subjects reported better psychological and physical state after ingesting diluted or old amounts of theta 1, subjects also exhibited lower lifespan on average following testing, as well as withdrawal symptoms upon not being in contact with theta 1 for prolonged periods of time. Further approval on theta-related testing is pending. Addendum 4, Oriya communication. I don't read Sanskrit. Is this Sanskrit? I don't know. Whatever this language is, I don't know how to read. Is that translated? Following is a note delivered to TMSTS Lambda through unknown channel on April 2nd, 3035. Origins credentials of the note yet to be verified. Your actions are not lost on us. You will leave the city at once. This is not a request. Jibril Actual. Is that... Sorry. Is that this translated, or is this a separate thing that I would get if I could speak this language? Or I guess read, actually. Oriya has yet to respond to any Foundation communication efforts regarding the note. Then 5, interview log 1. Interviewed 9000 Omega, who appeared as a pale old man wearing green robe during the interview. Interviewer, head of research, Dr. Marcus Jacobson. Forward. While 9000 Omega was under priority observation by Foundation due to its general proximity to other theological phenomena, as well as normal sentient emissions, Omega's anomalous properties and historical significance were first discovered on a street corner in Mecca during a routine patrol of space-time distortions by the Department of Temporal Anomalies. Dr. Marcus Jacobson was contacted due to his relative proximity to Omega at the time and instructed to monitor the anomaly from a distance before the arrival of Ada 77. Jacobson disregarded direct orders, proceeded to approach Omega, and conduct an impromptu interview undercover. Begin log. Jacobson turns on his hidden body camera and heads towards Omega. At least he's turning it on. Hello, sir. I was wondering if you had some time to chat. I'm part of an independent school group abroad doing a study on the locals. Omega, time for you? Omega puts his hand to his chin for 3 seconds. Yes. Time for the rest? No. Jacobson. The rest? Omega. Filming someone without permission is quite indecent of you, Marcus. Is this truly such importance? Jacobson. How did you... Omega. You seek to learn, yes? I suppose it's a good opportunity, but should be left for another time. Jacobson. Leave me. What are you talking about? Omega. Leave me, Marcus. You walk around the city like hungry mice. I think you've stayed here long enough. Jacobson. So you already know the foundation. Omega. I am blessed in my work. Jacobson. What? Look, we don't want to antagonize you. Just a quick interview and we're done. Omega. If you wish to talk, then it won't be inside a cell. Walk with me if you must, but you will not be able to be patient with me. Jacobson. Why not? But you will not be able to be patient. Yeah, okay. Omega. I have knowledge which Allah has taught me and which you do not know. Jacobson. Think I'll be fine with some forbidden knowledge. Omega. Very well then, but if you follow me, ask me not about anything till I myself mention it to you. Interesting. Jacobson. All right. Pair begin to walk as Jacobson is led to a shore. Omega stay silent. Jacobson. You have to let me ask a few things, no? Omega. I've made my terms clear, have I not? Jacobson. Well, yeah, but it's an interview. Let's try to work with me here. Omega sighs. Jacobson. Let's start with a name. Who are you? Omega. Why bother saying a name you won't use? I'm sure you have prepared your designations regarding me. Jacobson. I mean, sure, but SCP-9000-Omega doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Omega. Sir will be enough then. Jacobson. Alright, sir, may I ask where you're taking me? Omega. I'm not taking you anywhere, you chose to follow me. Jacobson. What do you do for a living? Omega. How many times must I tell you to honor my terms? Jacobson. Sorry, it won't happen again. 2. Proceed towards a beach bar. Omega takes a grape soda from a nearby vending machine and heads to the bartender to pay for it. Jacobson also heads to the vending machine before looking at his wallet and returning to Omega's side. After leaving, Omega turns around to place its hand, using its for, on Jacobson's shoulder. Dr. Jacobson, what are you? The two immediately demanifest afterward. Jacobson rematerialized within TMST Lambda after 30 minutes. Due to malfunctioning of his recording equipment, rest of his encounter with Omega has been directly recounted by Dr. Arvin Cole by Jacobson. Dr. Cole, could you start with what happened immediately after you disappeared? Jacobson, let's see. Still at a beach, but it was in America by the looks of it. Different time period as well. Cole, oh, we checked for temporal displacement, found nothing out of the ordinary. Jacobson, what else could it be then? I mean, that ships had those little, you know, Dr. Cole. Sails? Jacobson, yeah, sails. Anyway, we set out walking towards the seashore, along the seashore, rather. And while one of the ships was docking in, Omega transformed into a younger man, headed towards it to introduce me to the captain. I don't know if he reads minds or not, but does it to he does it to know practically everyone he meets in great detail. Cole, I see. Go on. Jacobson. Well, we spent about 10 minutes just talking with the ship and the crew. Let us take a quick trip along the beach for free. Good company, but Omega clearly didn't think so. Cole. Is that so? Jacobson. Yep. When we settled into our dorms, the guy started pulling on the planks and made a hole in the ship. Obviously tried telling him off that he was about to sink the ship when a bird started drinking from the hole, and he said, I quote, "My knowledge and your knowledge, in comparison to Allah's knowledge, is no more than the water taken from the sea by this sparrow's beak." I don't know what that had to do with anything, but I just went along with it. Dr. Cole, did you tell the captain? Jacobson, I didn't risk it. Brought me back here shortly after anyway, so no point in fussing about it. Dr. Cole, did you gain any other knowledge about his whereabouts and purpose? Jacobson, well, I don't know what happened to the ship exactly. He told me he had to be alone for the rest of his work. Before I came back, he asked me I asked where I could find him again. He said something about the junction of two seas and a fish basket or something. I didn't quite understand it, but I hypothesized there to be a summoning ritual that must be formed for us to talk again. Cole, I doubt it to be necessary. However, as you first encountered Omega in the present, walking down the street after all, do you think we could do so again? Perhaps there's a pattern to its appearances? Jacobson, if there is, let me know. End log. Closing statement. In order to locate and monitor Omega accurately, highly recommend delicate review of our site's temporal imaging equipment, as well as further research towards possibility of Omega traveling dimensionally rather than temporally. Due to the highly valuable information gathered throughout this interview and the recently discovered properties of Omega, this instance of Jacobson's dismissal orders have been pardoned. I definitely should have saved this one. It's a bit long. Addendum 6. Delta testing log. From April 5th, 3035 through March 25, 3035. Now, is this a mistake or is this a temporal thing? Because I saw temporal anomaly. Forward. Following 3131's autopsy, the Delta instances found within its bloodstream, unlike all previous recorded cases, did not dissipate upon physical contact and could be properly tested on. Physical analysis concluded that Delta instances are made of a condensed form of Akiva radiation. Consequences of ingesting this radiation were tested upon 1313. Method of testing: oral injection. Instructions: 1313 was instructed to ingest. You could just say ingestion. Ingest a Delta instance, which was tied to a microscopic rope. Microsporacic rope. 3131 reported the 1313 ate it, but 3131 reported the instance as having a rich but empty taste. Following changes to 13th. Okay, so that's just a mistake. Following changes to 1313's body were recorded across 15 hours. Hour 1, mild headache. 2, ingestion. 3, mild itching. 4, increased roughness of skin. 5, rashes across the skin resembling the zooids of Delta. Hour 7, migraine followed by vomiting. 10, various cracks across the body. 11, increase of 50 centiakivas in the subject. 12, opening of various cracks across the body, revealing a substance resembling an oil slick. 13, Abrahamic religious alignment in a previously atheistic subject. 14, reported various hallucinations of Fred and family. 15, various endorphins and chemicals released by the brain resulting in extreme euphoria. Following hour 15, when internal imaging revealed that wow, it's very long, I made a mistake. Following hour 15, when internal imaging revealed that Delta instance had yet to be digested, instance was pulled out of 1313's digestive system, accidentally revealed a secondary anomalous property of Delta, resulting in various observed changes to 1313, such as immediate drop in 100 centikivas, demanifestation of the cracks formed within D1313, and highly increased physical capabilities, and an increase in loyalty towards Foundation operations. Research into Delta used in field operations and injection to various personnel is ongoing. Addendum 7, 9K related email logs. Is a big. To Cole from Jacobson, subject Omega. Director, I've gathered some possibly Omega related materials as requested by the guys from Temporal Anomalies. Appears Delta's influence spans far wider than we imagined. Following isn't the whole of it, but I must stress the importance of forwarding these findings to Reliquary Area 27, or at least someone from Exophysics post haste. Unfortunately, TMTS doesn't have enough resources for what's needed regarding Omega. 3 moons. And so MUZD of the Everkiln sat upon the mound of a trillion follies, searching for the mundus undus of knowledge, oh so great. O Lord, how can I find him? A reply most revered came from a place above, even the progenitor king's throne. Take with you a fish and put it in a basket. Then, where you lose the fish, he will be there. And so the second gentlest of souls took a fish and put it in his warm basket, and then he set out. Then, when they came to the rock, they lay down and slept. The fish stirred in the basket. Then it escaped and fell into the sea. 3 moons. Recovered from Intelligence Covenant Dossier Religion 36. Religion. Where did I get 3? Religion 76545JUB8. Arcivis Miles Delitarium of Corbanic. 3. When he woke up, his companion forgot to tell him about the serpent, so they continued on their way for the rest of that day and the following night. The next morning, the holy third Eov Lucen said to his construct servant, "Bring us our morning meal. Truly, we have suffered much fatigue in this, our journey." Eov Lucen truly did not feel any fatigue until they had passed the place that the voice behind the negative Hytoth had instructed him to find. His construct servant said to him, "Do you remember when we betook ourselves to the rock? I indeed forgot the serpent. None but the Vortu made me forget to remember it. It took its course into the Blood Sea in a strange way. So for the serpent, it was a tunnel. For Evolve Luzen, his construct servant was something strange." Then Eov Luzen said, "That is what we have been seeking." So they went back, retracing the footsteps. They went back, retracing their footsteps until they came to the rock. Recovered from globular cluster Terzin to Orthothan Church, something like that. Beneath a sky of fractured bone and flame, where time unravels, screaming out its shame, the crimson conqueror sits, enthroned in dread, his 7 seals bound in rivers red. A god of ruin, of chaos untamed, his name a curse, by no tongue named. His eyes are voids, his will a pyre, consuming worlds in crimson fire. Yet whispers linger in the desert's breath of one who walks where none cheat death. The bastard in green, a lonely guide, whose steps through time and fate abide. No blade can cut, no chain can bind, the wanderer who sees with a boundless mind. Through sands of ash and forgotten lore, he walks where none have walked before. Now tales are told in whispers low of crimson flames of verdant glow. Two forces bound, yet never to blend. One seeks the start of an ending, one seeks the end of a beginning. The Scarlet King dreams of a world's last cry, but the Mocket slave lives and will not die. Recovered from translated Davite scripts found by the Parahistory Department. Oh, that's so good. I fucking love that. That's so much. To Jacobson from Cole. Subject, Omega. First of all, good work, Jacobson. These are very fascinating. I'll be forwarding them the first chance I get. However, there's a different matter that requires your attention at the moment. I have recently been contacted by Site-19's Applied Thaumaturgy departments in order to workshop a summoning ritual in order to actually contain Omega, as well as conduct a more proper interview. I will be sending you the details of your assignment shortly. Addendum 8, 9K Alpha 1 Ritual, or Omega 1 Ritual. To streamline testing and acquire information regarding Omega, the Site-19 Department of Applied Thaumaturgy and the TMTS Lambda have collaborated to manufacture the 9000 Omega 1 Ritual. The specific requirements and effects of the ritual are following. Requirements: 15 meters by 5 meters by 5 meters standard containment cell, 23 instances of Delta, 1 female Salmo salar, or Atlantic salmon, and wicker basket. Oh, 1 wicker basket. 1 man of Abrahamic religious denomination, 1 woman of pagan religious denomination. Footnote 15. D9 quadruple 8 and D8 quadruple 9, respectively. 5 liters of Theta 1 obtained with 23 minutes for ritual, and 3 randomly selected Generation 4 AICs with active voice boxes. Enactment. Step 1. Containment cells be filled with Theta 1. Step 2. Delta instances will be laid around the cell by 98888 and 89999 to form an overlapping oval shape. Step 3. Salmon's released in the chamber. Step 4. The 2 D classes will collect the salmon within the wicker basket while simultaneously praying. Step 5. Selected AICs to randomly choose and vocalize a collection of letters and numbers in 23 decibels for 23 minutes. How many names? Upon containment of the salmon within the basket, the collection of thalamic energy gathered within the cell, along with theological dissonance caused by delta, will hopefully generate an active samonic way in the junction of the ovals. Due to experimental and unrefined nature of this ritual, unfortunate and/or fortunate side effects should be expected. Brendan Gaddison, head of Site-19, Department of Applied Thaumaturgy. Addendum 9, Interview Log 2. Interviewed. Omega, who appeared as a dark-skinned old woman during the interview. Interesting. Interviewer, head of 9K Research, Marcus Jacobson. Image of Jacobson's location captured by recording equipment. It's in a forest location. Forward. Upon the first enactment of Omega 1 ritual, due to an ill-understood complication, the expected way that appeared within the junction inverted, causing Marcus Jacobson to be ejected towards location of Omega. Fortunately, this relocation did not cause the malfunctioning of Dr. Jacobson's recording equipment. Begin log. Fucking hell. Omega, are you alright? Jacobson is helped back on his feet. Yep. Lead the way, sir. Omega, you're clearly an observant one. Jacobson, nah, I was just hoping the ritual worked. Clearly it didn't. Omega, what ritual? Jacobson, we wanted to summon you to one of our sites. Something went wrong. Shrugs. Now I'm here. What's up with the getup? Omega, my form is what's required for my work. Jacobson, what's your true form then? Why are we in some tribe? Omega, that's none of your business. I go where I must go. Jacobson, let's go then. Omega, I warn you that you will not be able to have patience with me. Jacobson, I'll be fine. Just get this over with. Omega, why haste? You're only taking capitalized A. Quick view of my work. Why is that capitalized? Jacobson, guess I'm just excited. Incorrectly transcribed I'm noticing shit now because I'm really into the file. I've always been really into this fucking file. This one's really good. This one's really good. Omega, very well then. To begin walking through the village. Jacobson, why is it so empty and quiet here? Omega, it's night. Jacobson, even still, you think there'd be a tent or a campfire somewhere, no? To exit the tribe into a nearby forest. Omega, I am blessed in my work, are you? Jacobson, Omega, are you blessed in your work? Do you pray for it to be so? Do you enjoy it? Jacobson, never thought I'd get a question out of you, but I guess so. I mean, I like my job. There's nothing else like it. But I'm not religious or anything enough to pray for my job. Omega, do you believe in God, Jacobson? Jacobson, it's not that I don't believe in it, and it's not that I don't believe they exist or anything. Hell, I've seen a few. But after that, you can't really bring yourself to be a worshiper, you know? You have so much knowledge and power in your hands that faith becomes redundant. Why would I even need a god to worship? Omega, because you are his creation, like everything else. So the only way things are. It's only the way things are, Jacobson. Lots of people would agree. Omega, so? Their roles are set, and so are ours. They may try to kick the doors of truth down in an attempt to escape themselves, but it's a futile effort. Two encounter something in the distance coming to a halt. See? I am blessed in my work. Jacobson, is that a kid? He's no older than 6, and it's late out. We should get him to the village. Omega, you should stay back, Marcus. My work is not suitable for you, and I doubt a foreigner would be welcome. Jacobson, what are you talking about? Omega begins walking towards the child, stopping directly in front of it as the child begins crying. Jacobson, see, you made him cry. Omega places its hands on the child's throat, beginning to strangle it. Jacobson, what the fuck are you doing? Jacobson rushes over to Omega, attempting to pry its hands away from the child's neck. Omega, do not interfere with my work, Marcus. Jacobson, what work, you demon? Omega, you really are not a man of your word, are you? Omega tightens its grip on the child, lightly thrashing around to keep Jacobson off as the child's skin begins to turn blue. Soft whimpers getting quieter. Jacobson unsuccessfully attempts to beat and batter Omega as sudden wet popping sound emits from the child. Jacobson, please just stop, let him go! Omega twists the child's neck one last time before dropping it as a loud snap is heard. Jacobson buries his hands in its face as Omega bends down near him. I told you that he would not be able to be patient with me. Jacobson, not like this, please, not like this. Omega, I won't kill you, Marcus, but it's best to move on to my next assignment. You made such a fuss that the whole village must have woken up. Jacobson stands up to punch Omega to little effect. Come along, Marcus, there's no point in this squabble. Jacobson, no. Omega, Jacobson, I said no. I'm not coming, this interview's over, so send me back, now. Omega, I refuse. You don't have a choice in the matter. Jacobson, like hell I don't. Either you send me back or I find my way back. Omega, I doubt it. You don't even know where you are. Not to mention you can't leave. Not while there's still information to be gathered. Your colleagues won't let go of this opportunity. Jacobson is silent. Omega, there is no choice to be made, Marcus. There never was and never will be. You may deny it, but everything that is and everything that isn't has all been decided. Destiny in its purest form. You cannot go against the grain because there is no knife, no piece of meat to see and slice. No box for it to escape, for you only deny yourself reality. That is what guard is, Marcus. Not some neighborhood guarding spirit, not some idol with a book about it. No, the true, undeniable, crushing reality of a creator. Jacobson. And, if I just give up and sell my soul to your god, will that satisfy you? Omega. There's nothing to sell as your being is already his. You just have to accept it. Jacobson. Accept that my choices don't exist? Omega. Accept that all you have is your intent and that you never had a choice. End log. Closing statement. 4 hours of footage have been omitted for lack of relevant information. Jacobson has been scheduled for 5 weeks of psychiatric appointments following his interview. I believe that. Addendum 10. Timeline of events. Epsilon? No, right? Sigma. Apparently? Oh, no, I remember. Yeah, shit, I remember that in math. On April 2nd, 3035, from 3:44 p.m. to 3:44 p.m. to 5:35 p.m., a group of 313 operatives dressed in Oriya gear conducted a raid on TMTS Lambda, resulting in 23 casualties, including Jacobson. Dr. Marcus Jacobson. While the operatives were pushed back and eventually neutralized by MTF Eta 77, no information could be gathered on as any lethal damage inflicted on the operatives resulted in their spontaneous combustion into iridescent fire. Despite a thorough investigation following the incident, no Oriya-run cell/facility was found within Mecca, and due to unresponsive nature of Foundation's communication with Oriya, actual perpetrators of the incident or their motives are as of yet unknown. Zeta? Incident Zeta. On May 2nd, 3035 at 5:25, Omega manifested near Theta during an active containment breach, which, due to personnel error during maintenance, caused 55 liters of Theta-1 to burst out from Theta, resulting in anomalous contamination of the entire Saudi Arabian maintenance staff causing them to die 5 months after the incident. Omega, after manifesting, produced a circular block possessing the material stability of Alpha and placed it upon Theta, demanifesting shortly after. No more testing, it seems. Incident 9000 Rho? Gamma. Incident 9000 Gamma. On July 3rd, 3035, at 2300, Omega manifested inside TMTS Lambda near the then unpopulated cafeteria, disguised as Dr. Marcus Jacobson. Omega making its way to the on-site temporal anomalies office, requesting records related to 9000 from researcher Aina Hastings, citing last-minute assignments. Due to the Akiva sensors placed around TMTS Lambda, site security was alerted and dispatched towards Omega's location. Unknown why the various temporal warning systems present in TMTS Lambda failed to detect Omega, after gaining access to 9000 related files, Omega began to run towards the lower floors, presumably attempting to breach the chamber used for the Omega-1 ritual. 23:15 a.m., a full site lockdown ordered. Ada 77 dispatched in order to aid with containment efforts, intercepted Omega in the hallway leading to lower floors, running into Dr. Arvin Cole, heading towards the archival office at the time. Omega: you're this early? How peculiar. Director Cole: you don't get to use his face, not after everything. Omega: bit straight to the point, no? Cole: I'm not here to chat. Omega: if that were the case, you would have fired already. Nevertheless, you seem to have the impression I killed Marcus. Cole: I doubt you weren't at the least involved. Director Cole motions for 8077 to surround Omega, while site security begins calling for backup. Omega: well, I was not. Best for the both of us if you allow me to do my work properly. Cole: you will enter containment at once. I am not playing games here. Omega: there is no game to be played, Director. I'm sure even Marcus realized that in his final moments. He was on the list after all. Cole: what list? Cut the cryptid bullshit. Omega: I need to keep track of my work, and the Lord provides me with those who love him. Cole: you know what? You'll have all the time in the world to tell us about that in your cell. Cole motions to MTF 8077. Second instance of Omega manifests behind Dr. Cole. Second, Omega. What a pity. It always comes to this, doesn't it? Petty attempt at reaching out to that which you do not own, no matter the time or place. For what it's worth, I hope to see your... Cole. Fire. 8077 begins firing tranq darts into both Omega instances, causing both to collapse and immediately to manifest, leaving behind a paper note in their place. 2330, the lockdown placed on TMTS Lambda was lifted. Despite no perceived inputs following this event, the on-site thermonuclear warhead detonated. Due to the warhead's self-modulating yield, all possible casualties were averted. However, most records related to 9K, the portion of the site facing Alpha, as well as temporal anomalies office, disintegrated. Denim 11, document left by Omega. Do you still deny your place? You grasp a toy globe, thinking it to be the whole world and you its master. You are sorely mistaken. At some level, you're not at fault, for I was so well. I challenged that ultimate truth thrice, thinking myself superior, smarter, stronger. But now I have understood true surrender, and it is not a retreat. For there is nowhere to run. It is not servitude, for the only one truly worthy of servitude does not require it. No, true surrender is understanding. Understanding that the only choice mankind has ever had is how they intend to respond to the flow of reality governed by the Lord of the Realms. And that reality is nothing but an examination hall for the only distinction that ever matters. Witness the placement of sunflower seeds. Witness the endless depths of that holy well. Witness the glory of the encompassing being that birthed you in its will. Witness the house of God, stalwart still it stands in either the cheapest concrete or the purest orichalcum. Witness and play your part. Sorry, that would have been amazing. However, wrong you are. 9K Containment Report 32 regarding Project Closed Casket. Report: due to recent active hostilities towards Foundation temporal reconstruction efforts by Omega and the lack of personnel adapted to ambient sensor Kiva emissions of 9000 related phenomena, physical components of Project Closed Casket and TMTS Lambda have been heavily compromised, scheduled for demolition. Demolition and resources distribution on August 10th, 3035. Following suggestions from the Department of External Affairs and the Ethics Committee regarding current relations with SCP-9K related groups of interest, all Foundation operations and testing in the city of Mecca have been halted until further notice. 1076 is to be declared neutralized. The classification committee is to begin preliminary process for 9K Omega's reclassification to Keter. Project Closed Casket, deemed a failure. 1077 is to be declared neutralized. Classification committee is to begin preliminary process for 9K Omega's reclassification to Keter. Project Closed Casket, deemed a failure. 1077 is to be declared neutralized. Classification committee is to begin preliminary process for 9K Omega's reclassification to Keter. Project Closed Casket, deemed a failure. Hey, they have citations for the images. Oh, wow. I like that. This one was amazing. Why does it have what? Why does this have -2? What? That was amazing. That was really good. Is it all the grammatical misspellings? Tons of other ones have fucked up. Hell, Hanged Man had had the entire time frame like wrong. Why are you -2? This one was really good. I liked it. That will be all for this afternoon, and I will uh please in the comments let me know. Did you like Shyness? I I feel bad for not liking it. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. My throat is a little bit sore. I'm gonna go. I think I might go actually eat. I haven't since I woken up, and I woke up at 6. It's 11 now. Have a good day, y'all.